Hi, this is Srinivas Kaveti again, signing in from New York City, US. Welcome to Kaveti Law Series. Today's video, we are going to talk about shoplifting. Shoplifting in America can be of two types. One can be a misdemeanor, second can be a felony. What is the meaning of misdemeanor and what is the meaning of felony? And when you go and shoplift in the store, what punishments you're going to get, and especially for immigrants who are not citizens of this country, how it's going to affect your immigration status, your work status, and other issues we're going to discuss in this video. Normally, when you see, in terms of psychology, shoplifting is a type of a disease. It's called kleptomania. Some people have this habit of stealing things in the store. What happens in terms of law, I mean, if you have psychological problem, I guess you have to take some treatment, going and seeing some psychologists or some counselors. In terms of remedies in law, if you steal anything below $200, that amounts to petty larceny or misdemeanor. They are misdemeanor offenses. If anything more than $500 is a felony. So what does it mean? What is the meaning of misdemeanor and a felony? The misdemeanor means the punishment is less than 1 year, and felony means the punishment is more than 1 year. So guys, you got to be careful when you're stealing things from shops like Macy's or JCPenney or any of these big stores. What happens when almost all the stores have cameras, so they're watching. There is a team of people who are just watching every customer who walks into the store. So when they see some suspicious activity, they're watching you. So if you're trying to steal things, and if you're putting it in your private bag or in the bag of the store or in the cart, and if you're trying to take the tags, and if you're intending to steal them by not paying the store guys, so it's going to be an offense. That's called shoplifting. See, what they normally do, they would want to see you exiting the store. Once you exit the store, the shop guys, the shopkeepers will come and follow you, and they will detain you, and they have every right to detain you. Reasonable force they can also use, and they can bring back into the store, and they will do a small investigation on you. Even though they're not police officers, the law gives them permission. It's an exception to the general rule. They can detain you for a limited time. They can use some reasonable force to search your baggage and search your belongings and your purse and your pockets. And once they once they identify that you've stolen the goods, they could basically call the cops, police. So when the police comes, it's called processing. So they will arrest you, they will handcuff you, they will take you to the police station, or it's called precinct, and they will do a mug shot. That means they take your picture, and they will do a fingerprint. What does it mean? When they fingerprint you, the fingerprints are in the system. It's going to be in the station system, and then eventually that will be stored and saved in the archives of FBI. That means anybody can access all over the country. And these fingerprints are saved for 7 years. So tomorrow when you go for a job, when you go for they do a background check. When you go for a fingerprint, it shows up that you've been arrested. And shoplifting is a moral turpitude offense. What does it mean? That means people who have less morality, they do stealing. It's called larceny, theft. Different countries use different terms. It's basically stealing things, okay? And the other thing is, once they process you, they produce you before the judge. And they will release you on your personal recognizance, or they might ask for bail bond. So you have to retain an attorney or a lawyer, apply for a bail, and they will release you, because once they release you, they give you a court date, and then you'll end up hiring a lawyers. Criminal lawyers are very expensive anywhere in the world, especially in America. They're very expensive. So you'll end up paying $5,000 to $10,000 as the attorney fees, and on the top of it, if it is a first-time offense, the courts are going to look at a lenient view, sometimes not, and it's a discretion of the prosecutor and the discretion of the judge. But if there is a conviction, you'll end up in jail. And two, you will also have to pay the money to the storekeeper. That's called restitution. So you end up paying them, and you end up paying the lawyers, and sometimes there could be penalties from the court. That's part of the punishment. And on the top of it, if you're an immigrant, if you're on a student visa, or if you're on H-1B or a work permit, when you go to the embassy, when you give a fingerprint, it shows up in the embassy, and you might not even get a visa to come back to U.S. And sometimes if it doesn't show up in the embassy, when you're entering into the country, the Customs and Border Protection, when you give a fingerprint, it might come up. It might come up there that you've been arrested. So once it comes up, sometimes they might even restrain you from entering into United States. The other thing is, and this record will be there in all your life. And whenever you make an application, if you want to get a federal job, you want to get a state job or any government job, and there is in the application there is a column saying, have you been arrested? The answer is yes, even if the case is dismissed or disposed of or expunged. So you got to be careful, because it shows up in your system, and that means on your record, and tomorrow you might even lose a job, or you might not even get a job. So just doing a stealing of $200 or $800, $1,000 of stuff, this might affect your entire life. And many times you might even not get your green card, because when it shows up, because it's a moral turpitude offenses, the immigration has clearly said if anybody commits moral turpitude offenses like drugs or sexual assault on a woman or children, and stealing, these are all moral turpitude offenses, and they look bad upon you. So this will have a long-term effect on your future, on your careers, and on your education, and you might even lose your employment sometimes, and you could lose a lot of benefits in life because you have a criminal record. So guys, you got to be careful, and because now you understand what is the repercussion of shoplifting. So I recommend that if you get in trouble, hire a competent criminal attorney. And I'm not intending to solicit by doing this video, but this is only for an educational purposes. And I want you guys to be careful, whether you're U.S. citizens or a permanent residents, especially if you're students. You might not even get H-1Bs, because our firm normally gets some clients who are students and H-1B guys and green card holders. Sometimes they might even terminate, and they might even revoke your visa. So that means you might lose your right to live in America, or right to get employment, or right to get educated, and right to get a lot of benefits. So by doing small mistakes, by not knowing the law, by not controlling your emotions, you can get in trouble. So this video is only for information purposes and educational purposes. And you guys could watch this from all over the country in US or even overseas. So you better contact some competent lawyers or specialize in criminal law. And if you have any immigration issues, get in touch with some immigration lawyers so that they can protect your interest. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and please subscribe to Kaveri Law Series. And thank you very much. Thanks for watching.